Welcome to NENC Media Group, our very first special episode, diving into the heart of NATO, why it was born, who calls the shots, how it operates, and what role it plays in today's turbulent world. If you value clear, no BS analysis, hit subscribe and ring the bell now, and drop a like if you're ready to unpack the alliance that shapes global security. Let's get started. World War II ended in 1945, but the peace that followed was uneasy. Soviet armies occupied Eastern Europe, and Western democracies feared further expansion. In April 1949, 12 nations signed the North Atlantic Treaty in Washington, D.C. Article 5 established collective defense. An attack on one is an attack on all. Founding members included the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and 10 Western European states. They pledged to pool resources, share intelligence, and deter Soviet aggression. Question for you: what do you think was NATO's most crucial early mission? Comment below with your take. By the 1950s, membership grew: Denmark, Norway, Portugal, Italy. In 1955, West Germany joined, prompting the Warsaw Pact the next year. From the outset, deterrence was NATO's primary goal. Nuclear sharing, forward stationing of troops, and joint exercises kept the Soviet threat at bay. Fast forward to 1991, the Cold War ends, the Warsaw Pact dissolves, and NATO faces an identity crisis. Should it shrink or expand? And what new missions would justify its existence? NATO's decision-making is built on consensus. Every member has an equal voice, one country, one vote. At the top sits the North Atlantic Council, NAC. Composed of permanent representatives, ambassadors from each capital, who meet weekly in Brussels. Below the NAC is the ministerial level. Foreign and defense ministers convene to steer policy and authorize operations. The Secretary-General, currently Mark Rutte, is NATO's chief spokesperson and diplomat. He chairs the NAC, represents the alliance globally, and ensures member unity. On the military side, the Military Committee advises political leaders. It's chaired by the Chief of Defense of one member state, rotating every few years. Then there's SACEUR, the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, always a US general, responsible for all NATO military operations. Question for you: if you could recommend one reform to NATO's decision process, what would it be? Share your suggestions below. This consensus system ensures no member is left behind, but it can also slow urgent decisions when unanimity is required. NATO's structure blends civilian oversight with military command. Civilian side: a North Atlantic Council, policy, budgets. A Secretary-General, coordination. A international staff, planning, analysis. Military side: a Allied Command Operations, ACO, in Mons, Belgium, led by SACEUR. A Allied Command Transformation, ACT, in Norfolk, USA, develops future strategy. Under ACO, there are Joint Force Commands in Brunsum, the Netherlands, and Naples, Italy. They plan and conduct major operations. NATO's core force is the NATO Response Force, NRF. A highly ready, multinational brigade-size unit that can deploy within days. Inside the NRF sits the Very High Readiness Joint Task Force, VJTF. Nicknamed the Spearhead Force, ready to move in 48 hours. Interoperability is key. Standardized equipment, joint training exercises like Trident Juncture, and common communication systems ensure forces fight as one. Question for you: which NATO capability do you find most impressive? Type A for NRF, B for joint exercises, or C for command structure? This blend of civil-military coordination and rapid reaction units forms NATO's backbone. Today, NATO faces new challenges in a complex geopolitical landscape. Eastern flank deterrence. Since 2014's Crimea annexation, NATO has bolstered defenses in the Baltics and Poland. Battle groups led by the UK, Germany, Canada, and others rotate through to deter further aggression. Ukraine Partnership. While not a full member, Ukraine is a key partner state. Since Russia's 2022 invasion, NATO has provided training, equipment, and intelligence, but stopped short of direct combat to avoid escalation. Out-of-area operations. NATO still leads missions in Kosovo, KFOR, and the Mediterranean, Sea Guardian. Counter-piracy off the Horn of Africa, training Iraqi forces, and supporting UN peacekeeping. Emerging domains. NATO's 2023 strategic concept elevated cyber defense and space as new collective defense areas. The Cyber Rapid Reaction Teams can track and neutralize state-linked attacks in real time. And the Space Center in Ramstein monitors satellite threats. Hybrid and disinformation. The Odessa paratrooper hoax we covered earlier, that's a hybrid attack. Blending fake news with psychological operations. NATO's STRATCOM unit works to counter disinformation across 24 languages. Question for you. Which emerging domain worries you most? A. Cyber. B. Space. C. Disinfo. As 2025 unfolds, NATO's role is more vital than ever. Deterring new threats, adapting to high-tech warfare, and uniting 32 member states behind a shared defense. Thanks for watching our first NATO special on NENC Media Group, your front row seat to global security. What surprised you most about NATO's structure and mission? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. If you found value in this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss our specials or daily recaps. Tomorrow, we are back with another news recap. Until then, this is NENC, empowering you with the insight you need.